Hey, everybody, it's Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News. And I'm very pleased to have with me today Chuck French of Mutare. Chuck, thank you for joining me today.
Such a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Doug. And
Well, the
thanks
pleasure.
to the CCA for having us, by the way.
That's right. So the pleasure is all us. We're very excited to have, I think, the first of many Cloud Communications Alliance podcasts with Chuck and his team at Mutare. They have a very important message for us. We're going to be talking about voice threats. They're getting serious. There's a gap that Chuck is going to be talking about. And I really like this part. We're going to hopefully get to the part where Mutare is sort of like the easy button in all this. Also, for MSPs and channel partners, there's some revenue opportunities, great ideas up ahead. But Chuck, first of all, what is Mutare?
So Mutare, we're an independent software vendor. We've been around for, amazingly, 35 years. And for most of that time, we've been in the business communication space. And really, it's in the last 8 to 10 years where we moved into recognition of a problem that we felt the industry had left enterprises to solve on their own. And so that's the void that we're going to talk about today, the void that Mutare stepped in. And two things have happened since we embarked on that journey, Doug. Voice threats, which is what we're going to be talking a bit about today, have gotten a lot more serious. And just as importantly, how we deliver the solution got a lot more simple, which is what you're referencing with the easy button, which I hope we talk about later. But really, really glad to be here back into this community of service providers. We want to be talking as an organization with the people that can actually put a voice security solution in front of their customers.
So let's dive right into it. What is the central message businesses and service providers need to understand about voice security today?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and the central message is this: the voice channel has quietly, and I want to stress that, has quietly become one of the last unguarded doors to a business, and it's a problem, frankly, that the industry has attempted to solve, but unfortunately solved, in our opinion, the wrong half of it. We've gotten really good at labeling calls, whether they be spam tags or robocall warnings. We're using stir shaking, which is a good thing, but labeling a call only tells you, as the recipient of the call, that it might be bad. It doesn't give a business ability to decide what to actually do about it, right? That gap between labeling a call and controlling what's allowed into an organization's environment is this whole conversation. And that's why it really matters now. This unfiltered voice traffic that's coming into these organizations in general isn't a nuisance problem anymore. When we, as an organization, measure real enterprise phone traffic coming in, roughly 1 in 10 inbound calls is an actual threat. So for a service provider's customer, that's real cost and real risk. So the takeaway, I'd hope, the main central message for every business and every provider to leave with them is simple: voice is a security channel now, and it deserves the same control you already put into email and on your networks.
And to make matters worse, I mean, AI is a good thing. I love it. We use it all the time. We're using it right now. This platform is AI generated.
Yeah.
And yet AI also has opened up the door to even more abuse than we had before.
Yeah, 100%, or maybe we should say 10,000%, because what's happening right now is we used to talk about speed of business. This is there's another speed, and I don't even know what to call it right now, Doug, but AI has taken the cost and, frankly, the skill out of these attacks. I mean, it used to take real effort to impersonate someone convincingly, when over the phone or anything really. Now, voice cloning and these scripts that are written by AI, one of these attackers can sound like your bank. They can sound like your IT help desk, your own CEO in real time, and at scale. And the numbers back it up. 100%, they back it up. Phishing alone, which is voice phishing, jumped more than 400% in the back half of 2024. And that was by CrowdStrike's report. So CrowdStrike does their survey of annual threats. They saw a 400% increase from the first half to the second half of 2024. And the voice scams alone, they've gone up tenfold since 2025. Globally, we're talking tens of billions in losses a year, and the projections keep on growing. But the part, again, I'll underline for this audience is that voice has become the front door for the really big breaches. And we talked about this the other day, Doug, when we were together. Some of the most damaging attacks the last couple of years, they didn't start with malware, right? It wasn't something in the network or someone hacking some data aspect. They started with a phone call to a help desk. And the reason our old defenses can't keep up is, frankly, they're static, right? And when it comes to voice anyways, a static blacklist or a spam label, that's a snapshot. The attacker changes their numbers, their script, and now even voice faster than any list can do. So you need to set policy at the front door, not use something that's already out of date. It's a big deal.
Why has, I hate to say this about the industry I'm a part of and love, but almost making me feel like we're lagging. That here we are deeply, all of our readers, whatever they do, are connected in some way to the delivery of voice communications. And yet that seems, you're saying, hey, this is the door of choice. This is the open door.
It's true. And and the data proves that now. The bad actors call in and politely ask for credentials. They don't hack in anymore. And there's a reason for that. We, for the last 20 years, have treated the phone as a utility, not an attack surface, right? When you look at all the attack surfaces a typical security professional looks at, generally they're not looking at voice as an attack surface. So think about where the security investments went. Email gateways, endpoint protection, network firewalls. This phone system is an entirely different silo, and it belonged, frankly, it has and still belongs to, let's say, the telecom team or the unified collaboration team on a different budget, and almost never shows up on the security roadmap. And the tools that did emerge for voice were really built for consumers. And we talked about briefly earlier, spam labels and robocall blocking. They cut down annoyance, but useful, but that's nuisance reduction. That's not enterprise security. So we're doing some good things. Stir shaken, genuine step forward. I'm really glad we did it, but it's attestation and compliance at the carrier level. It was never designed to give an individual business control of their own inbound traffic. So you end up with this gap. Every other channel got a gateway. Email has a secure gateway. Network has a firewall. Voice got its equivalent. Never got its equivalent. So that's the gap we built with Mutare's voice traffic filter, a voice firewall.
Let's talk about that. Right behind your head, it says the authority on voice security, right? Mutare.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about that.
And so what we did, and the simplest way to really get to your question was, we looked at the world and said, carrier spam blocking makes one decision for everyone. And it's frankly a guess, but it's applied to the whole world. What we decided to do was give each organization its own policy over what's allowed into its own environment. And that's the difference, policy-based rules between a guess and actual control of what's coming in. So under the hood, to really get to how we do this, our voice traffic filter, voice firewall, it's a multi-layered voice firewall where it combines a number of things working together. As we've talked about ad nauseum already, the customer's own rules. What do you want to have come into the environment? But we also have a dynamic reputation database that really, not only do we have different sources of data to populate that, but it learns across our whole base. We use stir shaken, right? And we use that as an input. And then we have a voice captcha, which is really a fail-safe. We've all done it on our computers, right? Where you have to prove that you're a human. We've developed one to separate the bots from humans. And we'll also look at threat patterns across. So the customer is the one, and that's really a key message here. They decide what to allow or block or route or challenge right down to their environment. And you think of it this way. A hospital and let's say a hedge fund shouldn't have the same rules. And now they don't have to with this solution. I'll add one more point on this. Our first enterprise customer was a hospital, and that was really a good thing for us because we've designed the system around a do no harm principle, right? Custom rules, CAPTCHA, really allows a path for a legitimate caller to get in, so you're not blindly blocking real calls. And I think the last piece I'll add is that, and this is different, and this is one of the reasons why we really are living the mission to continue to not only earn but re-earn the ability to call ourselves the authority in voice security. Our data in our system can feed straight into a security team's existing tools. So voice finally becomes a signal they can see on that security team versus a blind spot. We're providing for the first time the tools that organizations can set up their own policies to be able to manage their what comes into their own environment. And I'll be blunt here for a moment. Carrier service providers, they have not offered this. I shouldn't say they haven't offered it. They haven't been willing to take that liability of being the determinant of what comes in. And there's a lot of reasons for that, right? I mean, it's not really their jobs have been to deliver the voice call. And for them to make that decision across their entire base isn't prudent. We'll call it middleware for a moment that really allows them to give the tools to allow their own customers to manage their traffic.
Is there an opportunity here for the CCA members, for MSPs, for CSPs, and so on?
Well, that's the part that I'm most excited to bring to this discussion. We've built a multi-tenant version of our voice traffic filter solution, specifically so a provider can add voice security to their portfolio without it becoming a project. It's cloud hosted by us, and once it's implemented, there's no SBC work, there's no professional services, there's nothing to deploy. It's software. You turn it on for the customer manages their own policies, and then the service provider handles tier 1 support. We take on deeper support. So commercially, it's recurring consumption-based revenue with healthy margin. The service providers set their own price to the customer. But I really like that. I really like to stress this though. This is complementary to what a lot of CCA members already do. They're already doing stir shaking and mitigation at the network level. That's great. The voice traffic filter is the control layer the end customer consumes on top of that. It's a different layer. And it finally makes enterprise grade voice security something they can offer to all of their customers, but probably most prominently the SMB and mid-market where the volume is, and they've never had access to these types of tools.
Now, this is all in the context of what you're talking about today, of recently joining the Cloud Communications Alliance. Do you have a message specifically for the CCA people?
So, a couple ways to address that. First of all, we want to work with the members as partners, and we bring the platform and the deeper support, and they bring the customer relationship in the front line. So that's how we perceive partnering with the CCA and their members. And we're deliberately in a seed phase right now. So we've got our first group of partners we can build and learn alongside, and we're open to co-selling and integrating. But on the re-engagement and coming back, I'll be honest about it. We actually stepped back from the CCA for a little while because our older enterprise product and the commercial model around it just didn't fit service providers. The multi-tenant model that we now have changed that. And once we saw the early success and started getting inbound interest from providers, coming back was easy. We're back because we finally have something genuinely valuable to the community. And as the first step anybody should take, and this is a suggestion, set up a meeting with me, with the team, learn more about the voice threat landscape, learn about the solution. We'd be pleased to share what we've learned.
Where can we learn more about Mutare?
Well, it's the URL is www.mutare.com, and you'll find on there quite a bit of educational material, and we also have a vertical page set up specifically for service providers. So lots of information on the site. Or please reach out to me. It's cfrench@mutare.com. I'd be pleased to talk in. I look forward to attending the first couple events. There's one coming up in Boston, I believe, in September, and we'll be at Cloud Connections in Florida, and I want to say that's January.
Well, I'm going to look forward to seeing you personally in both of them, probably maybe even before that. And I want to urge everybody, especially if you're an MSP channel partner, looking for some great revenue opportunities and doing the right thing for your customers, check it out, everybody, mutare.com. Chuck, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Doug.